Good evening, everybody, and welcome this evening. This is the Committee on Finance. This is a public hearing meeting. It's Tuesday, March 2nd, 2021. Madam Cole, I'm calling this meeting to order. Could we please read the item that we're going to be receiving comment on? Please, item number 1.
Communication from Mayor Jorge O. Alorza, dated January 29th, 2021, submitting the tentative agreement by and between the City of Providence and the Providence Lodge Number 3 Fraternal Order of Police for the period of July 1, 2019 through June 30th, 2023.
Thank you. So this is a public hearing in which I will be receiving public comment on the proposed tentative agreement between the City of Providence and the Providence Lodge Number 3 Fraternal Order of Police. I will give every individual exactly 2 minutes to state whether they're pro or con on this matter. When I'll raise my hand, or I'll signal you your 2 minutes are close to be up. I'll say, and then when it's up, then I have to. Then either if you continue on, then we'll have to mute you and then move on to the next person. So I ask everybody to follow the rules of engagement. Let the record reflect that Vice Chair Joanne Ryan is present. Councilwoman Castillo is present. Councilman Espinal is present. I believe, is it? We also have, of course, the city clerk, city solicitor is present, Mr. Kenny Chavarini. Okay. So first item, I just want to state that we received 12 emails in opposition of this proposed police contract. Just going to enter into that record, Madam Clerk. There's 12 items, those 12 objections. So next we're going to take it, and then as I call your name, let the record reflect that Councilman Correa is present also. As I mention your name, Councilman Anthony is present. As I mention your name, the clerk will let you in. You'll have 2 minutes to say your pro or con on this matter, and then we'll move on to the next person. So, Mr. Clerk, do we have a Miguel Sanchez?
Yes. Did you want to start with any of the administration?
I'm looking for Miguel Sanchez.
Yes, we do. Let me promote Mr. Sanchez. Mr. Sanchez, you're being promoted to a panelist. If you could please unmute yourself, you'll be able to start your 2 minutes.
I thank you, City Clerk.
Welcome, Mr. Sanchez. You have 2 minutes, sir.
Thank you.
And have the mic.
Hi, good afternoon, members of the Committee on Finance. My name is Miguel Sanchez. I'm here as a Providence resident community advocate to testify in opposition of the tentative agreement by and between the City of Providence and the Providence Lodge Number 3 Fraternal Order of Police for the period of July 1st, 2019 through June 30th, 2023. To be frank, I have an unsettling feeling in my stomach in giving fiscal salary increases to the department during a time that Black and Brown communities across the country are begging for social justice that includes alternative policing methods. I would like to see more community involvement regarding these negotiations, but I also understand that our City of Providence has a massively dehydrated pension fund that is going to require innovative ideas and people to improve it. But this tentative agreement, in my opinion, is not it. I'm also concerned that the fiscal impact statement does not talk about the long-term costs to the city from the proposed salary increases. That is the reason I'm in opposition of this tentative agreement. I would like to end this testimony with a Nina Turner quote. All of the great social justice advances that we've ever had in this country have come not from the people with big titles and not from the people at the top, but just from everyday people getting together and saying, enough is enough. I'm going to change this. I'm going to get involved, and I'm going to be engaged. Thank you for your time, committee members.
Thank you, Mr. Sanchez. You all be safe. Let the record reflect that Councilman Taylor is present also.
So noted.
Next up, we have a Damon Drury. If I'm saying it right. Mr. Clerk, could you please promote the individual?
I cannot identify someone named Damon Drury. If that person is in attendance, if they could please use the raise hand function. Otherwise, we will move to the next person on our list that is signed up to provide comment.
All right, let's go to the next person, then we can come back, all right? Is there a Nathan Levin Espenson?
I'm not able to identify someone that looks like their name would resemble Nathan Levin Espenson.
Thank you. Next, Gregory Wakmulski. Am I saying it? I'm sorry. I apologize if I'm not saying it correct. Gregory Wakmulski?
Yes, I'm also not able to identify anyone with that name.
Okay. Next, I'd like to reflect that Deputy Majority Leader Mary Kay Harris is present too.
So noted.
Is Kamel Shea present? Kamel Shea?
Camille Shea, if you are present,
Maybe.
could you please raise your hand? I do not see anyone who resembles that name.
Next, Sammy Mkia. I said it right? Sammy Mkia, A-M-K-I-E-H.
I cannot identify anyone that resembles that name in the attendee list.
Next, do we have just one name, Brooklyn?
I cannot identify anybody with that name.
Thank you. Tal Frieden, or Frieden?
I also could not identify anyone with that name.
Thank you. Oh, we got Sammy twice. Ames Colt.
I'm not able to identify anyone with that name.
Bruce Borowski. Borowski?
I'm not able to identify anyone with that name.
Megan Lynch.
I am not able to, oh, I'm sorry,
Right
actually,
there.
I see.
Hand up.
Thank you.
Megan Lynch.
Pop to the top. She used
Thank
the
you.
raise hand. Thank you for using the raise hand function. You are now being promoted to a panelist, and if you unmute yourself, you'll be able to have your 2 minutes of testimony.
Megan Lynch, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, welcome. Welcome, and you have your 2 minutes. You have the mic.
Hi there. Yes, so I just want to speak a little bit on why I am against this. Essentially, personally, I believe the city spends too much money on cops already. The people of Providence over the summer spent like 8 hours calling for the defunding of the police, and this is the sort of like call that's been happening nationwide as well. I think moving forward with this would be pretty tone deaf. And there are people who are still sort of this mindset, and people who are paying attention to that sort of thing. So I don't have much more to add, but I am against this. Thank you.
Thank you, Megan Lynch. Be well. Safe. Next, Mr. Clerk, we have Jackie Goldman. Jackie Goldman.
I cannot identify any names resembling that.
Next, we have with Hika Ramamurthy.
Ramamurthy.
Ramamurthy?
Yes.
Is that right? There you go.
I see.
I see right there, you went right by it.
Where did she?
You went right by it. No? You went too fast.
Ritika Ramamurthy, you have been promoted to a panelist. Would you please unmute yourself, and you have your 2 minutes?
Okay, thank you, Council.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. You have 2 minutes, you have the mic.
Great. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Great. Okay, my name is Ritika Ramamurthy. I'm the president of the Graduate Labor Organization and a resident of the Providence community. And I firmly oppose the salary increase of 13.5% proposed by the Providence Police Union in their new contract. In fact, I oppose the inclusion of the Providence Police Union in the labor movement entirely. I'm a newly elected union president and a labor organizer, and I negotiated my first contract last year. I know how hard most unions have to hustle to have their basic needs met, to get their salaries increased by just 2 and 3%, and to secure work protections to so that they don't get fired at will. Most unions have to fight super hard to exist at all, swimming upstream against anti-union efforts by our employers. The Providence Police Union has none of these problems, and it's not suffering for lack of pay or power. Here's the proof. After a year of public outrage, 10,000 people marching downtown, hundreds of citizens testifying, community budget actions, unlawful arrests, horrifying videos, aggressive tactics, and unspeakable brutality, we're currently sitting here debating whether to reward the police force with a raise larger than any other employee of the city will see this year or maybe ever. We're being asked to dismiss the prospect of accountability in the face of egregious violence and outright abuse. This is a complete and total corruption of the guarantees of a union contract. The protections that the labor movement fought for centuries to win and uphold are being weaponized against the people who live in this city and manipulated to undermine the social good. The police are one group in a range of priorities for the city, and if they cared about its safety and well-being, they would not be making such an unreasonable and offensive demand in the double digits. By approving this wage increase, despite all evidence against its merit and pragmatism, council will be both coerced to continue to negotiate with this number as a floor and also forced to set a precedent for ignoring public opinion in the future. We cannot materially or politically afford to keep enriching the police at the expense of everyone else's needs. As long as the PPU continues to use collective bargaining power to beat the city into submission, avoiding accountability and preventing change, nobody is safe. Instead of doing that, please honor your contract with the city. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you. Next, Enrique Sanchez.
I cannot identify anyone resembling that name.
Thank you. Next, we have Kate Shapira.
Yes, I have her. We also have at least one person from earlier.
One step at a time.
Ms. Shapira, or Kate Shapira, you have been promoted to panelist. If you unmute yourself, you may begin your 2 minutes.
Are you there, Kate Shapiro?
Yes, I am here. Thank you. I want to say first.
You have the mic. Welcome, and you have the mic for 2 minutes.
Thank you, Councilman. I want to say first that a number of people whose names you have called have been having trouble getting onto the Zoom. I've been speaking with them on another platform. So I hope that you will give those people who did sign up a chance to speak once again at the end and to be able to get on the call. Thank you. I'm calling because I oppose this salary increase. I think that it's unlikely that the police union will be allow themselves to be negotiated down in future. And so by approving this increase, the council and the city are locking in spending at least this much on police salaries going forward. It sets a precedent for an increase of this size, and it lets an opportunity to put that money toward other resident needs and social goods pass by. People have been demanding all season that the city relocate funds from the police budget and toward other social goods such as housing, education, social and emotional and behavioral health, jobs programs. And once the police union gets what they want from this contract, what reason will they have to negotiate with the city council around policies that limit their power or increase their accountability to the community? This isn't how I want to see my city spending our money as we try to recover from a pandemic year. And I think that the council should take this opportunity to hold off on ratifying this contract until some of these other negotiations are able to go forward. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Be well and be safe. Mr. Clerk, Kelsey Wheelo.
I'm not able to identify anyone with that name.
Thank you. Jennifer Pierce.
I am not able to find anyone with the last name Pierce.
Thank you. Ali Sun True.
I'm not able to locate anyone with that name.
Okay. Molly Scavuzzo Dugan.
I am not able to identify anyone with that name.
Elaine Shen.
Yes.
Hello, can you?
Hello, Elaine Shen. One moment. Are you ready, Mr. Clark?
Yes, Mr.
Thank
Chen,
you.
you may, Elaine Shen, you may unmute yourself.
Yep, Elaine Shane, please unmute yourself. Welcome, you have 2 minutes. You have the mic.
All right, thank you, and good evening, council members. I am writing and speaking to oppose this move to provide a salary increase for members of the Providence Police Department. I view, as the other speakers have, that not only is it a tone-deaf move when many Providence residents are facing houselessness, poverty, and other social and health impacts of COVID-19, but is also completely antithetical to what Providence wants their city budget to be spent on, as we saw in the 9-hour-long testimony of Providence residents in majority favor of defunding the police last summer. As one of the individuals who testified in person, it honestly makes me lose my faith in local government when I take the time to have my voice heard, only for my representatives in government to go against my and many others' wishes. I would like to see the over $15 million in cumulative base salary increases go towards aiding everyday Providence residents who are struggling to survive, or aiding Providence achieve climate resilience. $15 million can go a much longer way for a city than helping retain and recruit police officers. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Elaine Shen. Thank you. Next, we're going to have Jackie Goldman. Jackie Goldman, are you there? Great. Can you hear us, Jackie Goldman?
Yes, I can. Thank you so much for letting me attend, and I am sorry for missing my opportunity earlier. My name is Jackie Goldman. I will keep it brief. I want to echo the calls of many of the others who stood up and testified. The fact that we are considering a salary raise in this moment is completely unconscionable, given that many people in Providence are struggling to be able to provide their families with basic needs. The fact that y'all are still doing this does show that you do not care what the people of Providence have to say. Many of you have said that you do care about defunding and want to be able to put this money into things that Providence citizens are actually demanding, like access to mental health care, housing, food, things of that sort, and yet you're entertaining this contract to raise the police budget in a way that will cost the city more money. As many have said, this is unconscionable. And similarly to the previous speaker, this does make me lose a lot of faith in the city's government. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jackie Gold. Next, Brooklyn Toussaint, right? Hopefully I said it right. Brooklyn, can you hear us? Toussaint, you're muted.
Yes, I can hear you guys.
Welcome, and you have your 2 minutes. You have the mic.
All right. So my name is Brooklyn Toussaint. I'm just very confused. The salary increase, like, are you purposely being tone deaf? You know, like, not only does it sound like you're letting me know that, you know, you want people like me dead, it sounds like you're trying to kill people like me even faster. I just don't understand how someone who can aggressively move through every space they occupy with such a political agenda can, you know, come out with this blatant disrespect, this tone deaf, the disregard of people who have been testifying, protesting, and advocating for the complete opposite. I went myself to the mayor's home to ask for guidance, support, and assistance, and was told to respect my boundaries. When your elected city leaders clearly show you that they can't help you, it's imperative that we also realize that they cannot effectively make decisions for us. $16 million to continue to fund my death when you could instead afford me 16 million new lives. It's a shame. I don't understand why we continue to afford these people grace. If you cannot properly listen to people, you cannot serve them. And if you can't serve us, you should not be representing us.
Thank you. Next, Mr. Clerk, is, what is it, Bruce
Yeah.
Borowski? Is that it?
Borowski.
Bruce Borowski, who at 1160 Smith Street, Unit B. Sorry, we'll enter this into the record. Mr. Borowski, are you there, sir?
I am. Thank you for having me. Thank you, Chair and Committee. The proposed contract is ill-advised, and it does not meet the human needs of the people in Providence. I would like to ask you to vote against this contract and turn toward the human needs that people in Providence need, particularly now during this pandemic. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Second. Okay. And
We do have Enrique Sanchez, it looks like, here.
yep. So,
Promote him.
what number is that? Oh, I got it right here. Yep. Enrique Sanchez.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. And I apologize for the inconvenience earlier. My name is Enrique Sanchez, and I'm here representing a lot of the marginalized and Black and brown and working class people of Providence. Honestly, I cannot believe that we have gone to this time in our history, right, of having social movements, of having mass mobilizations. Some of the biggest protests happen in Rhode Island in regards to racism towards Black and brown and police brutality towards Black people across this country. And here we are having a debate on whether or not to increase the pay for the Providence Police Department. I believe it's a shame. I believe it's a smack in the face. It's a disrespect just because the protests and the mobilizations have calmed down a little bit or have died down. Y'all think you can try to pass this increase for police officers. It's a disrespect. It's a big disrespect to Black and brown people, to working class people. I'm an educator at Mount Pleasant High School. Instead of trying to get violence with Black and brown people, we need to be working together. We need to be working as a community, whites, Black, brown people. We need to be educating ourselves. Let's stop funding policing and militarization. And let's start funding education. Let's start funding education, and let's start funding knowledge so that our Black and brown people can grow up to be political leaders, doctors, lawyers, not be police officers and military personnel. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Enrique Sanchez.
Thank you.
Thank you. And let the record reflect that Councilman Kerwin is present.
So noted.
And that's it at this time for the sign-ups and the speaking engagement this time. Let the record reflect that Councilman Gunkos is present too. With that, Mr. Clerk, we went through the list of all the sign-ups, correct?
Yes, Chairman. I
you.
cannot identify anyone who has signed up to speak.
All right. Well, you signed up.
This is not
identified
an
for-
opportunity.
All right. With that, there are no more, nope, sorry. It looks like we have Nathan, Nathan Levin Aspenson. Sorry, he did sign up. Thank you. Mr. Nathan Levin Aspenson, are you there, sir? Oh, there, yes.
Yes, hello, I'm here.
Hello, you are from, I guess, 119th 11th Street, and you have the mic. You have 2 minutes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your time. I am, in truth, a little surprised to be here. I was surprised to see on the docket this proposed raise for police officers, because I remember in the very recent future waiting for 45 minutes to testify before this committee, along with numerous other Providence citizens and people who work in Providence, for defunding the local police department in favor of allocating additional funds to education and human services and housing, things that are incredibly important right now during a pandemic. I'm also surprised because I know we are facing a bit of a budget crunch this year. So it surprises me again that the council is considering devoting more money to a department that, as other people on this call have noted, attacks and brutalizes the Black and brown citizens of this city. It was also not very long ago that the Providence Police Department ran down a young man on the street, putting him into a coma, which he has not yet recovered from. And this is the department that you are right now considering devoting additional resources to. There is also, I believe, a bill on the floor that would prohibit them from engaging in sexual intercourse with those under their custody, because they cannot currently be trusted under the current laws and statutes not to sexually assault the people that they arrest. And this is the department that you are proposing, after 9 hours of citizen testimony, asking you to put those funds elsewhere, to devote more of our funds into resourcing. I think the council will decide tonight whether they work for the people of Providence or the police department. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. So let me, one last time, Mr. Clerk. Is Damon Drury present? I'll run through the list. You look through the names, okay? Damon Drury present. Okay. Camille Shea.
No.
Thank you. Sammy Mkia.
No.
Tal Frieden.
No.
Ames Colt.
No, sir.
Kelsey Relo.
I do not see a name that resembles that name.
Jennifer Pierce.
No, sir.
Okay. So we've run through the names and the folks that did pre-sign up per the open meetings process. With that, there are no more individuals to testify at this time that sign up. Mr. Clerk, we ran through the names twice and entered into the record this document. Correct, Mr. Clerk?
That is correct.
Thank you. With that said, at this public hearing concerning this proposed, the mayor's proposed contract agreement with the police department is called adjourned. With that, thank you all. Be well and be safe.